Hello everybody and welcome to another Bedroom Guru. Don't even be surprised. Shocker, I'm actually dressed today. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? I'm dressed and I'm sitting in the lounge. How amazing is that? I actually managed to get down the beach today and to sit and just watch the dogs running and having fun. It was just so lovely just to sit there and watch them. So lucky. It's a bit blustery, as you can tell, by my wind-blown hair. But it was lovely, and I thought I'd come back and answer a question that was sent to me by email. And this is a very good question, actually. It's from, I'm just going to turn my head if I read it. It's from Sandra Scott. And basically, she says, I've been watching your videos and I've been gaining more understanding. Thank you. You're welcome, darling. And that also makes me want to add thank you to all the new subscribers that have joined. I hope that you get a lot of benefit from what I have to say. And of course, I always invite you to send questions just as Sandra's done. And she says, the only thing I'm a bit confused about is how do we know what we signed up for in this life versus the law of attraction? What we attract, how do we know? Could you do a video on this? Ta-da! Your wish is my command. So, I've covered this subject in a couple of videos. I think one of them is when we go up, what happens after we die. And I think there was one about soul journeys. So for anybody that hasn't watched those yet, I just want to do a brief introduction to that, and then I'll answer what you're talking about, Sandra. I know exactly what you mean. It's a really valid question. Before we come down here, we are in a soul cluster, and we're a group of consciousness. And after a while, normally 3 generations, so we're not actually personally connected to people down here, we decide that we're going to come down, mostly because we're bored or we want to have a human experience. The younger our souls are, the more they want to come down because they crave that human experience. Because, you know, when we're up there, it's nothing but sublime love and tranquility and peace and knowledge and understanding and learning. And basically we can take ourselves anywhere and be who we want and be with who we want. And so I think that I would say that for certainly for my spirit family that speak to me, you know, I think I might get a bit bored. But I also think without getting too deep, there's a lot to do with soul ascension, where we come down and it's almost like getting brownie points for coming down and having certain human experiences to evolve our soul. And this is what's been described to me from my guides, that they came down as humans and they learnt so many lessons that they almost, I think the easiest layman term is to say that they got promoted to then be able to come and look after people on the earth plane. God, if I become a guide, I must be mad. I'm only joking. I most probably will do, actually, come down and help someone. Anyway, so before we come down, we all sit in the halls of learning, which I've been to many a time, sit in front of Metatron, which is one of the scribes to the omnipresence, who will write down our life plan. And we also sit there and blend with our soul guides, who are going to try and help us adhere to our life plan when we come down here. Rather than go into it too deeply, look at the other videos to do with it, because it explains it a lot more deeply, but I'm just skirting over it so we know what we're talking about here. So what we do is we then all start incarnating at various times. Some of us obviously will be born into families, which weirdly enough, the more older you get in your soul group, the more difficult the people you're supposed to rely on and love become. It's a really weird experience, but it happens. Because I just hear of it so many times with light workers and healers and psychics and mediums who basically have got a nightmare of the people around them and their partners that they choose and things like that. I think it's just part of what we need to learn here. You know, lots of people take for granted family, but when you haven't got it, then I suppose these people, you know, find it a lot tougher in life. Anyway, so you come down and you obviously have these bullet points. Now, the best way that it was described to me was by my dad once from the spirit world, because I asked about this before, funnily enough, Sandra. And he said the easiest way to describe it to you is, without getting too deep with it, is there's like nodes of accomplishment. There's like ticky box times in your life that you kind of work towards, and you tick that one, then you go to the next one, then the next one, to kind of tick off the human experiences you're going to go through. It's almost like, I would say, he said it was like taking the rattler taking the train, say from Essex, where you're going above ground, and then you hit the underground in London, for instance. And so you need to get from one place to another. So the beginning part, when you start off in Essex, that's the only way I can describe it. That's your birth. That's the beginning of your journey. You then, it's pretty much a straight run then, unless you're influenced by family and society around you. But at the end of the day, they kind of look at a child's life as being pure innocent and just following, you know, what their parents and their family take them along to. Interestingly enough, I would think that some of the, what I'm going to talk about in a minute, some of our soul is influenced by that and could possibly change our choices in the future. But again, I will lead on to that in a minute. So we then get to the underground. Now, if you like, I'm rubbish on the underground. I don't know any names or any train lines now. But basically, you know, if you want to go from one train station, you want to get to the other end of London, then you obviously might have to take different lines and different stops. And this is how he described it in respect of free will. So we could either take perhaps the direct route, which might be a lot busier and there'll be loads of people and it'll be really stressy, but you'll get there quicker, or you can take the nice serene route and go around the houses. It's the wrong route to take because it will take you longer, but it's the easiest route. So what he's trying to define by that, the metaphor for that is that sometimes when we take the easier route on our life plan, it's the wrong one. So where we could have been happy and settled and everything sorted here, out of our own ego, we go all the way around the houses and end up doing it a lot later than we should have. We've still got a definitive time of when we pass over and when we go up. So we've got to try and fit these like human experiences in. If we go too far off the path like I did, guides, especially if you're a spirit ambassador like I am, they will pull you back and change your life to get you back where you are. And Julianus and Catherine, two of my guides, showed me it as me being in these woods full of brambles and thorns ripping me to pieces. It was all dark and horrible and I could see the path I was supposed to be on. That's how they kind of showed me. And they said, we've had to change your life, hence the road accident and my chronic illness, to get you back where you were because you were totally on the wrong path, surrounded by the wrong people, on completely the wrong energy. And so I knew I had to go back through the brambles to get back on the road. And it was a bitch, I'm not going to lie. But I'm back on the road, which is lovely and fluffy. So that's kind of the definitive things that we aim for when we're down here. The plan is to tick off the human boxes, to meet the people we're supposed to meet, to influence or be influenced by people, and then we have our merry little trip down here on the earth plane, guided by our guides to make sure we stay on that plan, and by the time we get to our destiny point where we go back up, we then wait for all our soul cluster and it all starts again when we're ready to come down here. So that's the life plan, if you like. That's the blueprint of what we're supposed to be doing. However, there is a little problem. Again, I have mentioned this in another video, but I'll do it again, is that the easiest way, because I love diving, I'm a diver, the easiest way to do it is when you go down into the sea, you have to have the equipment. You have to have your oxygen, you have to have like your BCD, you have to have all your equipment so that you can go into a different atmosphere. So when we're up there as a pure spirit form, we basically cannot deal with the dense, heavy energy down here. So we have to be encased in human bodies. Now, part of the diving equipment is that we have lower vibration energy portals, because these portals are basically chakra systems that allow us to almost blend in with the atmosphere. So it's like, I suppose, going on the moon, you know, you need to have all your astronaut stuff on. So you're coming into a different atmosphere. So the lower parts of the chakra points below the human are all to do with life. They all vibrate on how we work our ego and how we handle life down here. Okay, so Google chakras if you want, because I'll be another 10 minutes if I describe the full, you know, aspect of chakras. I like to do all of my videos really easy to understand, because I'm not being rude, but you go and read books or you see some people and you're like, you lost it by the time they start talking about the Kundalini line, you know. So I'm just trying to make it really easy for you. So that lower part of your soul is the one that fuels and powers all the lower vibrations: sensuality, sexuality, life force, dealing with problems, dealing with food, shelter, relationships, all that kind of stuff. It's all the earth stuff we've got to deal with. So that's the lower part of our vibration. So that's kind of like the lower part of the soul. Now, Julianus, which I think is a perfect way to describe it, is he calls the lower part of our vibration, of our soul, the lion. Okay, I'll explain that a bit more in a minute. He calls it the lion. I can't do his accent, but it's the lion. And then from the heart upwards, we then have our communication chakras. We have our third eye, and then we have our crown chakra. And these are all connected to divinity. They're all connected to listening to perhaps your guides or the universe. It's staying connected. So it's almost like you've got this invisible cord that connects you to that higher consciousness. And it's that tiny little voice, which Julianus calls the mouse, is the one that you have to tune into and listen to. Okay? So the top part, where we should go with our heart, we should communicate our own truth, we should speak in our own truth, we should keep connected, we should keep listening to the divine voice, but it is the voice of a mouse. That's the problem. So let's look at a way forward. Just say, for instance, I'll do my one, for instance, right? So I lost my house in Essex, and luckily I had a holiday home. A few spoilers for the book, but hey ho, I would have described the whole of it by now. None of you are going to buy it. Anyway, so let's just talk about that. So I've lost my home in Essex, and now I'm living in my mobile home, which was a holiday home in Devon, right? That's all I've got left in the world. So what happens is that I then, I've only been there a week or two, go and stay with my mum over Christmas, come back, the place is completely flooded, written off. I'm homeless, basically. Which was a really, really, really tough time in my life. Jesus, it was horrific. Anyway, so what happens then is that the people that owned the area, the camping place, were absolute arseholes. Still waiting for the camera on that one. And we had agreed that whilst I was out of the caravan, because it was written off, because I was going to get a new one, but it would take like 6-7 months, something like that. And they said, right, well, what will happen is that the insurance people will pay the pitch fees, like at the end when they do the payout kind of thing. And they agreed that's absolutely fine. So there's me, safe hopping, homeless, all the rest of it. So I get the new caravan, and still the insurance money hasn't come through. Now, just before this, I had an option. I could have taken the money for the caravan, right, which would have been, do not pass go, take a straightforward route. We've flooded this place so that you can have some money, so you can get a roof over your head and rent a place. But oh no. That was the mouse talking, and it kept saying to me, do that. Take the insurance money. Don't buy another caravan. We need you to have a solid roof over your head, rent a place. Perfect. But no, the lion then started to roar. And so then basically what happened then is that the lion was, no, I want my caravan by the sea. I'll end up getting another house at some point, but I want my caravan by the sea. I want. I didn't see the wood for the trees. All I saw was this brand new sparkly caravan. What was I thinking? With a bath ensuite. So because I'd made that decision, basically then what happened is that my guides were trying to say to me, get out of this place, it's not right, you're not in control, you're not stable here, get yourself somewhere where you're out of it, where you're renting a place and you can pick up the rest of the pieces of your shattered life, okay? Wouldn't do it, wouldn't listen. I kept getting the signs, kept getting the warnings, wouldn't have it. There was all these nightmares month after month, and I kept thinking, this isn't right, I just need to get out of here and find a place to rent. I even remember looking at rented premises, and stupidly enough, I wanted my bloody caravan so that I could sit by the sea and look over it and be in this luxury. It was ridiculous. So anyway, get the caravan, and then they basically decide, the caravan people, disgusting people, it's happened to many people on that site, basically said, we want the money now. And I'm like, well, no, we agreed, like the pitch fees money, we agreed that it would be paid off when they obviously pay out. No, we want it now. Right, okay then. So they were on my back for that. I was worried because at the end of the day, there's nothing I could do. They then decided to raise my rent in another way, to get me out, to £400 a month just because I had a sea view and a drive. There's nothing I could do about it. Long story short, I ended up getting forced into having the caravan repossessed. I was homeless for a second time, and then I was completely homeless. Dustbin bags, 2 dogs, that was it. And so when I look back, what I'm trying to say to you is that if I'd gone with the divine inspiration, with those little messages from the mouse saying, take the money, get out of here because you know it's wrong. You know it's wrong. They've never treated you right. What are you doing? Go and get yourself a rented house. Then you can start sorting your life out. Roof over your head, garden for the dogs. No, I wouldn't have it. So I pushed through all this crap for months and months and months and ended up with absolutely nothing. And they obviously knew what was coming. They knew what was coming. But I refused to listen to it. It's the same with, I suppose another analogy would be if you're in a relationship with someone and in your gut, that tiny little, well, it's a bit weird really because I know that's your base chakras, but inside your heart and inside your soul, something is telling you this isn't right. They're either selfish or they disappear off, or you know they're lying, or I don't know, perhaps they are don't treat you right. So the mouse is saying you don't deserve this. He's the wrong person for you. Don't do this to yourself. Love yourself more. Have the strength to be on your own. Do this just for you. The lion's saying, but, oh, no, you can't do that because you can't be on your own and it's nice to have a boyfriend. It's all right when he's okay. You know, I want to be able to hold hands and go to the cinema with him. It doesn't mind if I don't mind if I put up with, you know, his bad moments. I'm just hoping for the great. All your friends are saying to you, it's a complete twat, but you're still hanging on there. You know it's wrong, or perhaps he's an addict and you're like, oh no, but you know, I'm here to support him to get him well. Deep down you know that he's never going to stop his addictive tendencies. That's the mouse saying to you, you're in the wrong space, you're with the wrong person, don't do it to yourself. Okay, so that's when we've got that choice. This is the free will. The problem is that our guides and our loved ones in spirit world will always try and keep us going from that landmark to the next, your ticky boxes. Okay, the problem is they can't interfere with free will. They cannot do it. They can show you the way. They can show you what happens if you go left, what happens if you go right. But predominantly, the lion roars louder than the little mouse, and you end up turning right. And that is the deepest, darkest load of crap that you're going to go down to get to exactly the same place that you could have got within a month. Do you know what I mean? How many times have you thought, my God, I wasted 2 years with that arsehole, and if I hadn't have gone there and if I'd been strong at the beginning, I'd be so much happier. Can you see? I'm just trying to think of examples to help you understand. So they can't interfere with free will. The angel realms can't. Sometimes they can if they obviously want me, because I'm one of their bloody employees, I suppose. Right? So we have to make that decision on our own. And the times, you must have all had it, where you've thought, if I'd done that, I wouldn't have had all this crap. Why did I do that? Or you do it and you think, I bloody knew I shouldn't have done that. I knew it. Because your mouse has been talking to you saying, don't do it to yourself. Don't make that decision. Don't take that job. Don't move there. Don't do this. Don't do that. But the lion says, I bloody will, so they can stuff it up their bum. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that, you know. And so the lion roars. You listen to the lion and you go off on this like lower chakra route to stupidness and then ruin all of that happiness you could have had right at the beginning if you'd taken the harder route. Does that make sense? The harder route is going to be you either having to make a change, breaking up with someone, changing your life, going into a completely new part of your life, not knowing what the hell's going to happen, but have the faith to do it. They are all your hard options. The easier option is to just say, do you know what, I'm not going to say anything, I'm not going to break up with him, you know, we'll have to split the furniture, we'll have to go through a divorce, oh, I can't be doing that, can't do it for the kids, and then you just remain in this complete misery-led life, okay? So the whole essence of it is a very difficult question to answer, in that Sandra was saying, well, how do you know when it is a law of attraction? How do you know when it isn't? Come on, guys, you know, don't you? Right? You know in the deep heart of your soul if something is not right. And it's if you've got the courage to change that. If you've got the courage to say, I don't care where I end up, I don't care if I end up in a bloody hostel, I don't care if I do, I've got to leave here, right? But most of us stay for the easier, safe option. We don't have the courage to make change. We don't have courage to sort out the problems that are renting our heads, our minds and our hearts. And so that is where that comes in, your choice, okay? Now, what happens when you're in a really good space? We're going to use relationships because it's the easiest thing for me to, like, you know, kind of get my message across. So you meet someone, they're lovely, you're happy with them, they're lovely, and then they end up cheating and they end up running off. and you think, why did I attract that? There's two reasons for that. One is perhaps you asked for that experience because you wanted to learn betrayal and how to grieve from that type of relationship. So there's that one. And the second one is you attracted it yourself because of how you feel about yourself. Whoa. So the first one, at the end of the day, there's nothing you can do about that. You've asked for the experience, and basically nothing's going to change that. You've obviously asked to have that experience of having betrayal, okay? The second one, where you have attracted it, this is the biggest thing, and this is the biggest fundamental message I'm trying to get across to everybody. And it's not because I think I'm anybody special at all, but what I've learned is that the journey I was on, don't get me wrong, it took me like 6 years, but the journey I was on, getting rid of all my demons and all the rest of it, I learnt to love myself. I learnt to respect myself and love me for all my warts and all. Never done that in my life, right? So basically, every time I entered into a relationship, I was so lucky and felt so grateful that someone would love me, because I had such a poor opinion of myself. I had such low esteem. I hated the inside of who I was. Couldn't stand it. I had no respect for myself. But that goes back to adolescence abuse and younger abuse in my childhood, where I was made to feel worthless. And so if you've got that intrinsic part in your soul that tells you that, and you don't even have to actually physically hear it or feel it, but there will be this dark shadow in your soul that says, well, you're not going to get any better than that, so you might as well go for it, you know? And so your soul will naturally go into that relationship thinking, well, I don't deserve any better. And what happens there is you either attract the predator that knows that you're grateful, that whatever they do, they could treat you like crap, but they know you're grateful, and they know they can zoom in for some reason. Predator energies can zoom in and know your vulnerabilities, so they can get in there and zoom in, so you can track that. You can also attract someone else that also hasn't got self-respect or self-love for themselves, so it ends up in this catastrophic relationship where you're both just as insecure as each other, and it's never going to work. Can you see the difference? So all I can say to you, Sandra, and everybody else, is that laws of attraction work on how you see yourself. So the way that I stay in tune with who I am and what I feel about things and how I react to certain things in my life, to be quite honest, I really don't have a lot of drama now. It's pretty incredible because I don't attract that anymore. You know, I don't attract that drama. I don't attract those sorts of people in my life anymore. And if I do have one that comes up in my life, I just think, I don't want to be anywhere near you, so I make my distance politely known that, you know, I don't deserve or want to be in that energy anymore. That takes a lot of courage as well, especially if it's family members. I've got beautiful family now, but what I'll say is that whoever it is that you know that's draining you, demeaning you, trying to overpower you, anybody that doesn't feel right in your life, that you feel upset after you've seen them, or you feel a bit vulnerable after you've seen them, you've got to work and get them out of your life, because all they're doing is feeding the insecurities that you've already got. They're feeding on this worthlessness that you feel. And so with that, what we feel about ourselves, we give out. I do this in my soul journal. I mention it all the time, but I tell you what, it's gold, that bloody book, or books. I've got hundreds of them now. Not quite hundreds, I'm not that old, but you know what I mean. And so sometimes if I feel a bit anxious or I feel a bit down, I think, what's this about? I'll sit down, quiet my mind, put some meditation music on, or some music that I love, some angel music, and then I write out how I'm feeling, and then I try and do a self-analysis on what it is that's making me feel rubbish. It could just be a bad ME day, or I'll eventually carry on writing and think, that's what it is. And whatever it is, if it's to do with someone, I'll address it with them. I'll say, right, I'm not happy about this. I never had the courage to do that before, ever. Never would own my own self-worth to say, excuse me, I'm not happy about that, and it's not my problem, because I always used to think it was me. Always used to think when anything went wrong, or anybody was nasty, or anybody treated me badly, I thought, well, I don't deserve anything better. You know, I'm used to it, so yeah. Now I'm like, well, actually, no, I don't think so. So actually, I don't want your energy. Who knew? Never used to do that, but I do now. And so what I'm trying to say to you is that by the core of your self-belief is what you will attract in, okay? So as I said, inevitably there will be people that will come into your life. If you've worked on yourself and you've done the self-analysis and you're doing mindfulness and you're getting your quiet times, you're getting your tranquil times, and you're centering on yourself, you're putting yourself first and you're respecting who you are and working on self-love, and then suddenly this arsehole turns up in your life, you think, whoa, why did I attract that? It's just stolen like all this money off of me. Again, sometimes, if you know deep inside that you've listened to that divine little tiny mouse voice, you haven't gone with your ego, and you've been working on your self-love, put it down as one of the lessons that you wanted to learn in your life. At the end of the day, we've got our soul cluster, but we're going to get other types of lower soul cluster humans that are more connected with power, greed, money, fame, acknowledgement and all that crap. They're the younger souls. So inadvertently, of course, we're going to bump into them in this universe. It's how you deal with them. Do you embrace them and welcome them in because you're feeling so crap about yourself? Or do you say, actually, nice to know you, off your trot? That's your free will. That's your choice. They all know this up there. I had, when I was with my ex, I remember once I was laying in the caravan and I was in the most agonising pain. I was so depressed and I was so exhausted. Again, it was during my times when I wanted to die. And he was off, just left me there all day and night. I was on my own all the time. And I just said out loud, what am I going to do, right? The radio in the kitchen started playing and it was playing Black Heart. And then as soon as the message had finished, it turned off. I knew that I was in the wrong relationship. I knew that I didn't love him at all. I knew that I had to get out of it because I knew something bad was coming, but I wouldn't. I was too scared, didn't want to be on my own. I need to be loved, even if it was from an arsehole, And so I've learned all this. And there's all different ways they showed me, but I've got to say something for the book, haven't I? So it's all about connecting with your own energy, connecting with what you feel and what you know inside. The only way to do that is to sit in the quiet. It can be 5 minutes. You don't have to sit there like knocking the ums out and, sitting there and really trying to meditate. Go for a walk, take the dog out, do your gardening, go and have a game of tennis, whatever it is that quietens your mind down to just what you're doing at that time. Then you can start thinking about afterwards, perhaps if you're going to have a sauna after you've had a game of tennis, or you're walking along the beach, or you're in the woodland, start thinking about how you feel about situations, start thinking about how you feel about yourself. The more you work on your inner self and your inner child, the better you're going to attract opportunities and things that come to you. I basically now, after being taught cosmic ordering by them, big time, I just say that would be really nice now. And then it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But nothing negative comes. Does that make sense? I don't get anything negative come towards me anymore because I don't deserve it and I don't really want to be around it. So why should it come to me? It's like a magnet. Like does attract like. As I say, if you do get the horrible person turn up and you've been working on yourself, then again, it's self-analysis. Look, write it out. Be in touch with yourself. Was it me? Am I weak? Or did I create this? Or am I going to put it down to one of those things where basically say shit happens and move on, And then we have to have the strength to move on and grieve or work our way forward from that person or that situation. Okay, so it's all about looking inside. And so many people send me emails saying, I can't cope, what direction do I go in? I'm really lost, I don't know what to do. There is nothing out there that's going to show you the way. Here is going to show you the way. And once you've got that completely balanced, and once you're completely full of yourself, understanding ego and understanding the mouse, the divine inspiration, then things will be plopped in front of you. You'll straight away, you'll listen and think, what does the mouse think? He's saying, no, you're all right. Even if it looks like the best option in the world, listen to the inner you. If your inner you's going, oh my God, don't even go there, don't do it, okay? And then when something just plops in place without any energy whatsoever, any effort, and it's right there in front of you, go, thank you very much, I'll have that, that's lovely. Can you see the difference? So it's all about listening to yourself. How many times have you said, yeah, I'll do that, it'll be lovely, and inside you're going, oh my God, I'd rather just stab my eyes out with a hot poker. But you still go, yeah, okay, because you're scared of perhaps offending the person, or thinking, well, this is going to be good because I'm going to get this out of it. No, don't do that to yourself. Just hold it in there. I've got someone at the moment that I speak to. She's lovely, and she's holding out for the best opportunity for work environment, and she's getting all these offers. For the first time ever, she said no, because she's getting this trust in the universe that the right one will come along, rather than grab it because she's worried that she's running out of money, and grab it because she needs to work and she's starting to panic. She's actually holding back and going, no, I actually deserve what I want this time. And that is what you do. I tell you now though, it takes a lot of courage, and they will take you to the 11th hour where you think, oh my God, there's no money coming in, I haven't got a job, what am I going to do? But if you start letting the lion roar and start to live, you're not going to have any money, you're going to be out on the street, you're not going to have any job, you're not going to be, if you don't take this job, you're not going to have one forever, you've got to grab it now. And that's the lion roaring. But if you just sit back and think, is it coming? The more that you meditate, the more that you connect with your inner self, you'll know. You'll just know inside, yeah, it's coming. Might be a bit late, might be grabbing the seat a bit and thinking, oh my God, but then it'll go ding, and it'll be the dream job or the dream opportunity you could possibly imagine. So it's all about trusting the process and inner communication. Sandra, I hope that answers the question. It's a very difficult one to try and explain, but I hope I've kind of got it across as best I can. Laws of attraction, you reflect who's around you, basically. And if anything goes wrong, self-analysis to find out if it was your ego that created the situation, or it's just one of those dodgy soul clusters that's rocked in, given you experience and gone off again. The fact is, I can't remember the saying, it's not about when you fall, it's how you get back up, or something like that. So you just move on from it. This is the other problem that people have. They stay stuck. Why did that happen? Why is he doing that? I wish him dead. I wish him this. Why can't you do... You're staying stuck in the same energy, so you're going to attract another arsehole by doing that. You've got to cut it clean, learn from your mistakes, or it's not a mistake actually, learn from the lesson that your soul has experienced, and then go, okay, fine, that's absolutely fine, move on. Trust me, I know you're all saying, yeah, right, it's easy for you. It wasn't easy for me at all. I've been through the worst nightmare of my life. However, I'm away from it now, and I'm basically refer back to it, not because I want to sound like a hero or keep going on about it. It's because I want people to know I've been there and done it. One thing that really gets on my nerves is when you have all these people on YouTube or like authors who go, oh, I've worked out the secret to everything, and you feel like when you're down you think, oh, shut up, who are you? You know, and it's because they've done courses and they've done this. I like the people that have said, I've been there, absolutely smashed me, but now I'm back up and this is how. You know, they're the ones I like, not the ones who fluff around and sound magnificent they are just because they broke a nail. You know what I mean? Anyway, sounds like I'm being negative about people. I'm not. I'm just trying to echo what some people might do watching this if they've had a really crap experience with someone or a job, or I don't know, something happened in the family, or a rubbish holiday, I don't know, whatever it is that has made you upset. That's how you deal with it. You know, and so what if you made a mistake? So what if you went in the wrong relationship? So what if you took the wrong job? Work on it and say, well, I'm not happy, so how do I change it? And then you say, right, this is a change I've decided to make. I'm trying to make myself as whole as possible here. Can you show me a way forward? Bang, you'll then get a bit of newspaper fly in front of you with a new job offer. That's how they work. Once you put your trust in the universe, and once you realise that you're on this life plan, it's so much bloody easier. I don't have any fear of anything anymore. If I'm not happy, I will change it. Totally. And I never used to do. I used to hang on and hope it would change, or hope that something would happen to change it. Of course it isn't, because you're sitting there like this. If you go, I'm ready for the change, they'll go, okay then, watch this space, and they'll create the opportunities of change for you. It's incredible how it works. And so why do you think I keep doing these videos? Why do you think I'm writing like a demon? Pardon the pun. To get everything out to you. It's to show you how to do it and start working it. And it's, you know, it really is no big great shakes. You just got to surrender and trust in something that isn't, you know, solid in front of you. Let them do the rest. It's so simple. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there because I end up talking for England, and I'll end up with about 50 minutes of me going. So I really hope that's answered your question, Sandra. Send me an email or a message on here and let me know if it has, and if I've made it a bit clearer for you. I hope I have. I'll have another go. I don't know. I think that's as clear as I can get it. With that, have a lovely rest of your weekends, Sunday, and have a fabulous week. And have a look. Make a list. Would it help? to just
make a list of what you're not happy with, what you are happy with,
and start ticking those little ticky boxes off to get to your next human junction of awareness. So things you're not happy with, how are you going to change them? Work on that. Don't worry about the things that are happening that
you know, how am I going to get through? I need to find
help. No, don't. Look it within. What is wrong, what is not right, have the courage to change it. So with those wonderful words of wisdom, I shall leave you now, and I shall speak to you very soon. Again, thank you to all the people that subscribe, especially all the new ones that have come up recently. Nice to hear from you or see you, and welcome. And as I say, anything you want answered, just send me a little email, or go to my Facebook, Nicky Alan. Everything's Nicky Alan, actually, Instagram, Twitter, all of them. So send us a message on there, and I'll do whatever I can to help you on your path with whatever problem you have. So I'm going to love you and leave you and say goodbye and go and make a cup of tea. Take care now. Bye.